everyone, welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting in our weekly cash or trash, where we mostly just mock the hot books of the week. It's not actually the intent of the show. The intent of the show is to look at the hot books of this week, kind of make some predictions, think about why they're hot, make some adjustments about whether or not we should really be chasing these books right now, whether or not we think what's going on with them is sustainable. And use what we've learned from doing the look back show to make some projections. And then we see how we do when we do the look back show, which mostly means we end up making fun of them. So this is sort of how the show ends up going. We had the unruly Simeon in here tailgating. I'm sure he will be back with his meh multiple times later on in the show. So hopefully he will be back soon. I am a little late today. My folks came over for Mother's Day, so they came over yesterday. We hung out last night and then had lunch before they headed home. So yeah, so we're doing this a little bit later than normal, but we are ready to go. Excuse me. We got Fight the Good Fight. What is going on, sir? What is up, Mr. Rayman? Yeah, I know the life has been kicking me in the rear lately. So yeah, the times for everything are all over the place. I try. It's just the way it goes sometimes. I apologize for that, but yeah, it's just, we do it when we can sometimes. This is how we get it done. Andy, what is going on? He is looking forward to the dumpster fires. There is definitely a dumpster fire in here, which I forgot to do. One thing I wanted to look up, which I will do here in just a second. I missed last week because he was getting some autographs. Good for you. So this is the nice thing about these is they live forever. We will see. I did been working with the dog, trying to get him to just lay there, and he acted like he was just gonna lay there. We'll see. He's now perked up. When I was pre-showing, he was just gonna act like later. He's now perked up, so I may have to kick him out here in a minute. I will apologize in advance if I have to do that for the delay. So there he is with a preemptive meh inbound. There we go. All right. So yeah, let's get into this. We got 19 books to talk about. Let's talk about how I do this, how I divide them up, make predictions here. We throw them into straight cash, homie. Books that we think are actually going to continue to increase in value. That we think these are books that these are typically blue chippers, but books that we think are definitely going to go up over the next 6 months to a year. It's either blue chippers or books that we think just the timing is going to make them continue to go up over the next year. We got the worth it books that we think are probably about right, but if you buy them at this price, it's probably gonna be worth it. You're gonna do okay. They're probably gonna go up a little bit or stay in this range. Yeah. We got the I'll Be Backs, which are the flip side of that coin. Books that we think are about right, but you could probably do a little better if you're a little bit patient. We got the It's a Trap books that are going to drop 30, 40, 50%. They're going to back way up. We always have traps every week. Occasionally we'll throw in a come on, man, as in what are we doing? Why are we chasing a book like that? Just really, what are we doing? Come on, man. We got our dumpster fires. These are books that I don't even, it's self-explanatory. It's a disaster. Why are we going for this? Why are we chasing this book? Why are we going after it? Yeah, it's terrible spec. The value is not going to be there. Don't do it. That's really the dumpster fire. Then occasionally we'll throw some books into a few other categories. But yeah, so that is the categories we're going to throw books in. And we will go from there. So let's see who else has hopped in this chat while I've been showing off those. He's fooling you. What's the part of the show? Probably. He is kind of staring at me, so we'll see what happens here. Is chilling. He went to his LCS. See, I did not. I spent the day yesterday with my mom, so I did not go to. Plus, there's no LCS close to me anymore, so I did not get a chance to partake in Free Comic Book Day. I hope you all did, and hope you all supported your shops and had a good time. Pie Face, what is going on? The Manic 23, how's it going? Scotch Comics, hello. Asking what he got. Let's see. Hey there, Jared, what is going on? You are catching it live because I am late because I was hanging out with my mom this morning. So there you go. RN, what is going on? All right, we are 5 minutes in. Let's get into these books and let's see what we got. I know this first one's going to be a book that Unruly just hates. That is not true. First up, we got a little Superman 233. Interesting. Tom put this on the list. There's a ton of sales this week in the aftermath of Neil Adams' passing. We've also lost another giant this week, which my guess is some of his books will, George Perez's books will show up on the list next week, because this is what people do when they're thinking about it. They go after things they haven't maybe gone after before. Tom didn't really put any prices on this. He just put it on the list because there'd been a bunch of sales. I looked just to see raws, or you can get this still $50 to $200 for a raw copy, depending on condition, obviously. Great book. As he says, good book. It's funny that this is the one people seem to be one of the main ones people seem to be going after, given it was not one Neil liked because of the whole thing with the legs, and that they editorial changed it and stuff. Long term, definitely, this is a climber. A little bit of an I'll be back probably at this point, just because there's a bunch of buzz about Neil, and as that kind of passes, the book will settle a little bit, and then long term it'll be straight cash. 9.0 did go for like 860, which is the most recent, the highest grade that's went kind of since he's passed, at least on eBay. So yeah, so great book, but typical with the passing of a creator, it's an I'll be back. It is a fantastic cover. I kind of wish they just worked with him and let it, if they were going to put the Kryptonite Nevermore down here, if they had just worked with him, he could have redone the other leg just a little bit, could have made it match a little better, instead of this weird. I know he hated this cover because of it, but definitely a cover that people love. Like if you just look from here up, from the crotch up, it's a fantastic cover. So there you go. Yeah, it's definitely all about Neil's cover. This is all that matters with this book. I'm gonna go pull his. There you go. I don't know that the sales are super high, prices are super high, but there has been a ton of sales here. So next, gonna do a little option news. We actually have two books related to this option news. We have Assassin and Son #1, the cover A. This is one where I feel like I need to actually come up with a new category and have a unreleased meh category. I guess it's sort of it doesn't matter who you are kind of thing, but it's meh to throw in here because it's going for $8. Basically, we got news that this has been optioned. Supposedly that there's a high quality director, I forget the wording they use, attached to this. The person who wrote this, there was only ever one issue published because the person who wrote it passed away. And yeah, so in kind of a tragedy. So there's only just this one issue. This one's only going for $8. I guess meh is right. Yeah. It's probably worth it at $8. I don't know. It'll probably be a long time before we get anything. They're just starting us now. The second part of this is there is a tribute cover that was released, limited to 1,000 of this book, that basically I think came out after he passed away, or I don't know if the book actually came out before he passed away or not. I'm not sure exactly the timing, but they sent this tribute variant out. There was only 1,000 copies. This one's going for 70 plus. Still think this is a meh and an I'll be back for sure. A-list director, that's the term they use. Yes, thank you, Planet Arizona. And hello, A-list director. So there you go. Yeah, it's very tragic what happened to him. I can't either. Yeah, basically, for those that don't know, I don't want to relate the whole story, but he was a wrestler. He was famous for other stuff. He was writing this comic, and basically his son, he went in after his son in the ocean, riptide. Yeah, and neither of them made it back. So yeah, just a tragedy, and we'll see where this goes. But it's still an I'll be back for me. Limited meh then. Limited meh on a limited cover. There you go. All right, we're gonna move on to a book that I know and really will not say the words meh, and he'll probably be my judgment, my call on this, he'll probably be fighting words because of it. So we'll see. He might be mad at me when I give my reveal. And that is the Ronin #1 by Frank Miller. This hit the list because they announced that Frank Miller Publishing Company basically he's starting his own publishing company. He's working with some folks. The goal is 2 to 4 series a year. Some by him, some by other authors. And one of the series that they talked about that they are for sure bringing back is Sin City. The other one is Ronin. So they're going to basically do some more stories in Sin City, and they're going to do some more Ronin stories. It's caused this book to jump all the way up to $10 for a raw copy on average, 9.8 all the way up to 175. I mean, you can't, and I really would definitely not meh this at all, for sure. So, but yeah, can you mean? So here's the thing. What has Frank done in the last 10 years that anybody's really thought was like up to his previous standards? He's an all-time great, but prices have been stagnant on this. Dumpster fire on principle. I'm not going to call it dumpster fire. It's renewed interest in a story that from when Frank was actually a great artist and writer. I don't think he has that in him anymore. I don't know who he's going to be teaming with on this. But to me, this is still an I'll be back. There's a little bit of buzz here. We'll see if anything becomes of it other than additional comics. But yeah. You're correct. Definitely. Yeah. A lot of his stuff, more recent stuff, has not been good. I think the times have passed him by a little bit. And I think it just doesn't take it away from the greatness of what he wrote before. He's not that writer anymore. And so there you go. And his drawing skills definitely have dropped off for sure. And so, yeah, more expensive in the 80s than it is now. I believe that for sure. I would guess he's not drawing any of it, but that he may be trying to write or plot or whatever. But yeah, that's a pretty good assessment. Not much since the 2000s, but yeah, great before that. Unreleased says Ronin Screams movie. Well, if that case, then it will be a lot more than $10 for sure. But this is probably an I'll be back. There's a little bit of news, got a little buzz, but doesn't really matter. I don't think it's really going to change anything long term. With that, we're going to move into covers, and the CBSI list this week had 7 covers, which is just crazy. First up, we got The Gun, number 2, the Jeff DeCall 1 in 10, and apparently DeCall fans love his stuff, and apparently this is pretty hard to find because this is going $900 to $1,000 raw. For this 2016 comic. This 1 in 10 from 2016. There are a few out there on eBay. There are some listings. I find it hard to believe that I've seen some really good, some of his covers I love, some of his covers I'm like, this is not one that I necessarily love, but apparently he's got enough of a fan base, and there's a few of these are hard enough to find that this has jumped way up. Way up. Unreally's going meh. Ohana is not impressed. I don't know if I saw Ohana come in, but hello. 800. Yeah. This is my thing. I feel like this is a little, but once the covers like this get into this kind of range, they don't necessarily they're not going to crash. Like once they establish that they're going to go for this, they tend to go for this. I put it as an I'll be back, which is everything so far on the list, which I feel kind of weird about because we're 5 for 5 on I'll be backs this week. I just keep clicking the same button, but I feel like that's probably the range that it's going to be in. That, yeah, you could probably do better than the prices right now. There's a little bit of buzz. One sold, and then a couple sold for really high. I think you could probably do better. We'll see. But because this is a slow growth, I don't think it's going to drop back much when it does. It's just I think it's always been valuable. It's just went to a new level is really where you're looking at. I see. This is where I'm at on this kind of stuff. I just would not pay this kind of prices for this kind of thing. Can we get a pass? The rent or this cover, man. Yeah, very, very limited print run. I think it is a very limited book, and but there are a few out there, but it's pretty hard to find. Next, we got the Once and Future number 25, the John Boy Myers 1 in 25, which is little reflections in the sword. Character here kind of split down the middle. It is kind of a cool cover. but it's a 1 in 25 going for right about 50. So right about double. What do I tell you if it's going for double? It's going to end up between ratio and double ratio. That's almost, yeah. In this case, yeah, Philip the Tank. Not even quite Philip the Tanker by this book. No, I think he's still talking about like the $900 book, but yeah. Love the cover, love the series, man. Yeah, it's a 1 in 50 that only went to double. It's going to be an I'll Be Back. That's just standard. Gosh, I got a ton of I'll Be Backs this week. I need to be more. And now the next one is also 1 in 25. Oh, you cannot see that very well, can you? I couldn't find a good image. This is Batman Beyond the White Knight, #1, the second print foil 1 in 25. So DC is now doing these ratio second prints, which just like drive me nuts. It's a 1 in 25. It's a second print. It's going 75 to 80. I actually lean toward this is almost so it's going for triple. It actually has went slightly over the triple. I still think this is a trap. There's not really a first appearance here. Like I guess there is. There's a first appearance of Terry in this version of Terry, but there's not. It's not like he's in. There's not like there's new characters. I lean toward this being despite the fact that the rules tell me. So I'm going against the rules. The rules tell me that it's got the triple. It's probably going to hold pretty close. It's probably worth it. At worst, I'll be back. I'm going to say this is a trap. I just don't see it. I don't see enough here to sustain this. I know the first print was somewhat hard to find, but we're getting Double Pass, Batman the Dirty Knight. Sorry, yeah. The foil sometimes hard to find good pictures of. Just meh. Is that mud on the screen? I know. I'm sorry. I should have tried to find another picture. This is the one I could find. That was actually somewhat clear. Yeah. So it's a trap into a dumpster fire. See, he doesn't see enough here, period. Yeah. Sorry. It's just the way the image is. I probably will try to find a better image before the look back at 6 months. Next. We got another 1 in 25, another not great image. This is Batman 123, the Jock 1 in 50. So Jock put out this cool kind of 1 in 50 green Batman diving. It's only going 75 to 100. This one I am going to kind of follow the rules on. That's an I'll be back. It's not even, it's pushing double ratio, but it's not over. My guess is it settles somewhere around double ratio, or around ratio to like slightly more. Things like having a move. It's probably looks as good probably as the photo does. Well, sometimes I don't have time. Sometimes you get what you get, folks. So there you go. It is a cool cover. I still think it's going to be an I'll Be Back. We could see. It's been a while since a Jock cover really took off and did anything. I don't necessarily see this as being iconic Jock, that it's really going to go. I would say the next week on this one has potential to change this, but because this could be one of those that really takes off in the second week as people see it. But I don't think so. I think this is an I'll Be Back. Let's see. Love Jock this ain't in that. There you go. And see, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the strategy on waiting on incentives and variants. Is almost 99% of the time, 95% of the time, let's say, they're going to be less after the initial buzz. And the other thing is, you've lived without them for this long. If they're not less or if they're more, do you really need them at that point? Are they really that important to you? So it gives you a chance to really think about, okay, do I really need this variant? That's it. He's saying borderline trap. I could see that. It's a 1 in 50. I think it'll hold pretty well, but it could be a trap. So yeah, okay, it's a nice game of foil coming back. Yeah, we got lots of foil here, right here. Holograms. There you go. Good. Yeah, let's hope not. All right, more covers. We got Gamora, #1 from 2017. This is the Tula Lotte, 1 in 25. I had never seen it. I've seen several of these Gamora covers have actually hit the list in the past. This is not one I have ever seen. It has slowly just been kind of creeping up. It's pretty hard to find. It's creeped all the way up to 80 to 90. This is one where I'm actually going to go with worth it. It's a slow climb. It's a pretty cool cover. It's pretty hard to find. My guess is it probably stay. It's just kind of climbed up here, and it's probably going to stay in this range. Yeah. Everything is cyclical. He is correct. And really says I'm wrong. He says, meh, written all over it. But it's old. It's not like it's a brand new book. This is this is 2017. This has been a slow burn to get to this point. To me, those usually indicate, regardless of what you think of the individual cover, those usually indicate some staying power. For sure. So call this one worth it. I have been wrong. I will be wrong again. So not interested. Well, and I could get that. So if you're not a Tula fan, I could get that. If you're not a Gamora fan, I could get that. But I actually kind of like this one quite a bit, honestly. I don't know that I wouldn't pay the current price, but I do like this cover, actually. His first live meh. All right, Jared got his meh in. So everyone disagrees with me on this one. Everybody's in the meh category that this is not going to hold. We'll see. We'll see. Next, we got Star Wars Empire Ascendant #1. The Giuseppe Camacoli, 1 in 50. CAMUN Coli. OLCOLI. Yeah, I don't know. The Giuseppe 1 in 50. So this is interesting. There's not really anything here in terms of first appearances, anything like this. Basically, what happened is the 1 in 25 is kind of a hard to find. Some other people like it. Okay. We all know what your comment is on Star Wars, unruly. So the 1 in 25 is a hard to find Dr. Aphra cover that's very popular and goes for pretty big money. Actually, goes for very big money. So now people are chasing the 1 in 50, also hard to find on this book. As a Vader cover. I don't know that this cover is that fantastic, but that's sort of like, oh, well, there's another cover for this book that we should go after. And it's like, but here's the thing, 2 sales, 125, 175, 2 raw copy sales. There are no other listings, only those 2 recent sales. So that tells me this book is super hard to find, and it is a Vader cover. So Star Wars fans are probably going to be all over this. And yet I still put this in I'll be back because there's no key here. I could tell I'm probably wrong on this for sure, but this feels like, it feels like people are going, oh, yeah, like there's another cover we should get. But why? There was nothing in the book. Never got into the comics. I never got into the comics till recently, and it was a mistake. Both getting into them and not doing it until recently. Both sides of that were a mistake. All right, next we got a little Obi-Wan Kenobi going on. So this is the 1 in 25, the Ario Anandito, 1 in 25. This actually hit both lists. The new Obi-Wan series came out this week. This cover really doesn't have anything to do with the series. Not really, sort of, I guess. I mean, he's in it at this age, but it's mostly him flashing back. But anyway, 125 going for $30 to $40. 40 plus, so occasionally going over 40. Didn't even make double ratio. That is absolutely an I'll be back. That's going to be around ratio. Actually, it's probably borderline trap. Honestly, like some of these that are going right around double, you should almost just call them trap because they're going to end up around ratio. So that's about half. So yeah, I should probably call this a trap, but I put it down as an I'll be back. But I should probably start changing that prediction. We're going to change it right now. We're going to change it. Trap. It's a Star Wars book, and it is a trap. So yeah, it's just following the rules. If it's right at double, it almost always ends up right around ratio to slightly above, which is going to be like ratio would be a 50% drop. So yeah, this is a trap. No. Well, it is not. It's him writing in a journal. It's like him writing down his life kind of thing. This is your life, Obi-Wan, is kind of what it is. So, yeah. I do like the Noda cover. I would agree with you. That's the one I got. $20 soon, yeah. Look forward to the show. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the show. I think the show's gonna be good. Hoping the show's gonna be. All right, next we got like our one DC TV book this week. We got Legends #1 from 1986. I feel sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like I was surprised that I didn't know what this was. Like I was like, oh, what's this? And this is the first appearance of Amanda Waller. I had no idea what the first appearance of Amanda Waller was. I'd never looked into it. She's an interesting character. She showed up in a bunch of TV shows. She showed up in movies. And she's been in, like, yeah, read comics with her in it. No idea. I had zero idea what her first appearance was. Well, this jumped all the way up to $10 raw with $160 on a 9.8. Because they're talking about doing another spin-off show like they did for Peacemaker off of Suicide Squad. So, yeah, that's going to focus on Amanda Waller. So that's why it's on the list. We know how quickly DC turns out these shows. We're still waiting for Green Lantern. This is an I'll be back. We're going to have a ton of time between them. Even on a $10 book, you got all kinds of time. Dollar bin, yeah, this is the dollar bin pick of the. This is definitely find this in dollar bins. You could absolutely find this still in dollar bins. Yeah, I would not pay a premium if you could find one in $10. Yeah, if you can find one in good shape, that'd be the key. You can find them in dollar bins. Just finding one in good shape might be a little tough because nobody's cared to take care of it. But it's DC worth it. There you go. This is the second ever DC event, Legends? Really? I didn't know that. There you go. Yeah. It's definitely I feel like it's still undervalued, even with this little bump, because, I mean, she's just a pretty solid character, but I don't know how many, this is from 1886. I don't know how many of these there are, probably a ton. All right, next. You guys have been waiting for it. You guys look forward to it every week. A JP rant. Here it comes. Get ready. We're gonna put it up here before we even show the book. We're gonna just bring the dumpster fire up. This is a dumpster fire. We're gonna put it up here. The book is Spider-Verse #6. What? JP's railing on a Spider-Man book. JP loves Spider-Man. This is dumber than a post. The only thing to say about this is, so there's a ton of first appearances in this book. A ton of first appearances in this book. And I get that. This book is going through the roof because they said there's going to be like 120 different spider characters show up in this, the new animated movie. How much is Penny Parker worth? Her first appearance? Not that much. It's pretty cheap. $20 raw, $30, whatever. How much Spider-Man Noir worth? These are not way under $100 books to get these books. How much is either Spider-Ham? Like, these are all ones that appeared and were played a major role. Not all these 120 spider characters are going to be important. And I get there's a bunch. Can you guys name one? I'm looking at the list right now. Can any of you name a version of Spider-Man that appears for the first time in this book? Because this book is going for $300 raw, 9.8 for $1,200. $1,200. Can you guys name any of them? Speckers have gone insane. This is nuts. $1,200 for 9.8 of this book? 110 of 100. My phone is going nuts. Here's the list. Here's the list. No, here's the list. This is really what I think. It doesn't matter who these people are, but here's the actual list. Is Garden Spider? I'm like, oh wait, I think you got one. I think Garden Spider is correct. We have a bingo. Planet Arizona did know Garden Spider. Great Pennsylvania. They're not. They've never. None of these, as far as I can tell, none of these have really appeared since in anything. I could be wrong. I could be missing something. I don't read every spider-related book. As far as I can tell, none of these. This is your list: Sea Spider, as in the sea. Sun Spider, Spider. Oh, Spider. There you go. Like Jordan, you know. Spider Requiem. Okay. Spider Sting. That's a winner. That is definitely a winner. We got the Garden Spider previously mentioned. A White Widow, not the one that has her own comic. That's a different thing. White Widow in Marvel. And V. Just V. Not V for Vendetta. Just V is a spider character. This is nuts. This is absolutely insane. And if you're hoping for UF4, at this point, if you're paying this prices, it has to be. If you're paying $300 for a raw copy, $1,200 for 9.8, it has to be not UF4, Ultimate Fallout 4, to pay off. This is stupid. I don't care if there's 30 first appearances. If none of the first appearances matter, the book don't matter. That's what they're reporting. Let's make sure. Maybe because I did not get a chance because my folks were here. I did not get a chance to double check the prices on this. I'm gonna look live, and see if it's really going for that much. Because this was CBSI, and sometimes he reports kind of the high end. Tom does that too, and you go and you look, and it's like, it's not really selling for that much. It's not really doing that crazy. They're a little exaggerated. They're taking the high end of stuff. Let's see. Oh, I was wrong. 9.8. $1,575 today. No, that's the 7th. That was yesterday. $300. I don't know. Here, let me make myself big. Let's remove. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, there's another $1,500. 265, 300, 274. The whole run for 600. Oh, all 6 issues. Woo, bargain. There's the 1250 that triggered it for a few days ago. A fool and their money is soon parted. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, what else can you do but laugh at the craziness of this? 363, yeah. I don't understand. There's your rant for the day. I don't understand this one. None of these characters have mattered yet. And because you think they're going to show up in the background, because he even said, well, there's 120 characters, but a bunch of them are just in the background that you're going to catch a glimpse of. Because these are going to show up in the background, you think this book is worth $1,500 in a 9.8? If you got one, sell. Yeah, get rid of them. I don't understand. I get specking on spider characters. You're getting into like $1,500. You're getting into Gwen 9.8 territory. You're way beyond Silk territory. You're way beyond, like, Spider Punk doesn't come close to this. Like, what? The ones that have, like I said, the ones that have appeared don't come close to this. You could get the hard to find variant of Silk's first appearance, plus her regular 9.8 event, the Ramos one, plus the main cover, like, of her first appearances. Those 2 books for the price of this one. You can get both of those, and she's got a TV show coming. All right, I've spent too much time on it. It doesn't deserve this much time. This is dumb. And if you're thinking this is the great, if you're buying this, I'm sorry. I think you're crazy. All right, we're moving on. Next, we got a little Star Wars #2. We had the trailer. Obviously, love going toward the first appearance of Obi-Wan with the trailers coming out. The show is less than a month away. Raw copies are still only averaging about 200. 9.8 went for 55, which is up considerably from about this time last year when it was like $2,000 for this book. So it's all the way up to 5,500. Think about that. You can get the first appearance of Obi-Wan, Han, and Chewie for, you get a raw copy of it, a solid raw copy for around the same price as you can get the Spider-Verse book. Maybe not a high grade, but a solid one. If average is around 200. Yeah. But this is long-term, what he just said, bad time to buy, long-term worth it, absolutely, worth investing in. I just wouldn't buy it till the fall. I mean, that's just me. This isn't I'll be back. It's a come back later, enjoy the show. If you're a big fan of the character, if you never managed to snag the book, I have not. When it's going to be, it was not on my 2022 hunt list because I knew the show was coming. You know when it's going to be on my hunt list? 2023. After the show is come and gone. That's how I'm going to go after it. Because I do want to get this book and yeah. Just be patient on this one. So, I just think just a bad time. By fall, early next year, this book will be not necessarily a lot cheaper, but you'll be able to find deals because there won't be quite the buzz, there won't be the push for the book. There you go. So, long-term hold, can you dig it? Yeah, for sure. All right. Next, Thor 326. The first appearance of the second Scarlet Scarab, which is still not the Scarlet Scarab we got in the Moon Knight show. So there's little spoilers for the finale of the Moon Knight show. So if you haven't seen that, you can bail now or whatever. Because basically, last two are Moon Knight, and then we got one other book, or so we got two Moon Knight books, one other book, and then the Doctor Strange books. This is not the character that appeared in the show. Let's just put it that way. A Scarlet Scarab appeared in the show, but it is not this character or the original one. So why people are jumping on this, I don't know. But raw copies are up to $20. So it's like a 400% increase in sales. A 9.6 went for $345. This is a trap. Nobody's going to care about this book in 6 months. It's not, even if the character comes back, it's not this character. It's just the hero name. Don't. It's, yeah. I didn't put this as a dumpster fire. I just put this one as a trap. But yeah. No reason to take this book at all. Next, our other Moon Knight book. This is Moon Knight 10 from the Lemire run. This is kind of the origin of how Mark met Khonshu for the first time. It's also where we get the introduction to the Stephen Grant personality. I'm a little surprised this is only a $10 to $15 book, to be honest. Actually, I was kind of shocked. Even with the show and everything going on, this is still only a $10 to $15 book. Throg was a better bet than the Scarlet Scarab. You're not wrong, because you're not wrong, because again, it's not that character. At 10 to 15, first kind of Stephen Grant, first meeting with Khonshu, that doesn't seem like out of line. Putting this is worth it. What we got? Whoa. I'm all over the place here. I didn't actually put in. Sorry. Yeah, I'm putting this as worth it. I think this one's probably at $10 to $15. I could be wrong. This probably turns into an I'll be back, and it's like a $5 to $15 book when we come back. But yeah, I mean, if you're paying $10 for this, if you're paying $15 for this, it's not, and you're a Moon Knight fan, I think you're probably okay. Yeah, first Stephen Grant feels very undervalued for sure. So we get Mr. Knight before we get to Stephen Grant. So we don't actually get Stephen Grant till issue 10, which is interesting. Yeah, you can. Yeah. 150 Moon Knights instead of Spider-Verse 6. Oh, yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, if you want to buy it at 10 to 15, it's fine. All right. One more book before I'll kick you guys out for potential strange spoilers. We got Spawn number 9 on the list for the second week in a row. It's actually on the opposite list this week. It was on the other list last week, following the Thor trailer. We didn't get Angela, but people are just specking that Angela is going to show up. Apparently, there's actually, which Tom was mentioning this week, that some actress had been cast, and they were speculating that this is Cersei, Lena Headey, had been cast supposedly in Love and Thunder, and people are speculating that she's going to be Angela, which seems odd. I can't imagine them casting. Not that Lena Headey's old, but she seems like older than what they would cast Angela. Maybe not. Maybe like she's a fantastic actress. It would be cool. I just don't see this. I would be surprised if this is where this goes. $20 for a raw copy of this. This book is 9.8, 175 to 200 plus. I would just call this as. I mean, Angela, I think is a solid choice. These prices aren't completely out of line, but I would still call this an I'll be back. There's a buzz right now. It'll die down. You can find deals on this. This book is out there. Yeah, it had nearly infinite print run. Yeah, there's a ton of these. I mean, if you could find a newsstand, jump on it. But like for direct edition, yeah, I would just be patient on this. You can definitely find it. You do get color rub. It is a tough 9.8. You are correct there. Yeah, that's just my thought. It's not that she's old. It's just she's not. I wouldn't think they would cast Angela for someone her age. I would think they would try to cast someone that looks younger, more could be in the role. But then again, maybe they're not going to use her that much because she may just be a background character and it may not matter. So there are like a gazillion of these. I would definitely put this in. I'll be back. All right, last two books have to do with Multiverse of Madness, one of which has been out there because it was in the trailer. It's been out there for over a week, but fair warning, I can't talk about the books without at least spoiling something. So there's your fair warning on that. The first one is the one that has been out there for a while, and it's not really a huge surprise. And I even used it in the thumbnail, which I probably shouldn't have, but I did, which is Captain Carter number 1. This is the cover A. Last week we had the 1 in 25 on the list. And $10 to $15, 9.8 hit 325 this week before the movie was released, mainly because there's not very many 9.8s on the market yet. I have the feeling when it gets flooded that price is going to come crashing down. On the raw side, though, at $10 to $15, I mean, there's still rumors that we are going to get a Captain Carter show, that we're going to get a Unruly is all about Haley. Well, got a yay Peggy. That I don't want to necessarily spoil the movie, but if you're still here at this point, despite what happens in the movie, I won't say anything more than that we're still probably going to get a Captain Carter show. It's the rumors that we're going to get the multiverse, so that what happens in the movie doesn't necessarily affect their ability to use the character. So we're probably going to get her somewhere. Yeah, 400 for 9 ways walkthrough paid for by a FOMO. Yeah, I mean at 325, it's really just because there's not hardly any listed because everything's raw. I mean, I'm putting it as worth it because of the raw side, because I don't think 10 to 15. I don't see the book dropping below 10 to 15. I could be wrong on that, but I don't see it. The raw side is worth it. The 9.8 is way over. It's probably a trap because once in a month when a bunch of these come back, my guess is it's going to be a $200 book, $150 to $200 book. Yeah. So overall, I guess technically between the two, you would call it like an I'll be back. I'm going to put it like worth it / trap as the way I have it written down, because Yeah, I think the raw side is worth it. I think the 9.8 side is a trap. So there you go. There's like ASM 55 again. What was the ASM 55 thing? I don't remember. Where's Phase 35? I totally don't remember. I don't remember what you're referencing. Ohana, my brain's not working. All right, one book left. This is definitely spoilers. This was not leaked beforehand. Miracle of Miracles. And so this is definitely spoilers. Although it's not a major spoiler in terms of the storyline, it is something that it is a character that appears. Yeah, because right at the end of the movie that we were not expecting. So a lot of Gleason cover variants. Gleason Web. Oh, the Gleason Web. Yeah, there you go. All right, with that, here you go. Last book. Strange Tales, number 126. First appearance of Clea. And we got I don't know. I don't guess I need to say the spoilers, but we got Clea. Briefly. But my guess is we will get more of her going forward. That has caused this book to hit the list. 6.5 went for 1,100. 5.5 went for 7. 4.0 went for 500. Here's the thing. We now have an actress. We now have. I'm not going to spoil the actress. We now know the character is finally part of the MCU. She's kind of getting her own. She's currently the Sorcerer Supreme in the comics. I still put this as an I'll be back because we have no idea what the timeline is for her reappearing. Maybe Quantum Mania. I feel like that huge actress definitely helps. It is you will know the name. Let's put it that way. You will know the face. When you see the face, you'll be like, oh, you will know who it is when she appears on the screen. This is my thought. So it's going to get an artificial bump right here. But then there will come the lull once we move away from the movie. If you don't have this book and you want it, that's when you buy it. And then long term, it's going to trend up like a book this age does. That's just the way this works. So when you get a book like this, Silver Age, first appearance, important character, the movies cause these little bumps, and then you'll get a little bit of a lull, and then but the overall long-term trend of this book is, a steady climb and in value. And that's what you're going to get here. So I wouldn't buy right now for the next month. But yeah, when the lull starts happening, start looking for sure. If this is when you want. Who wouldn't be? Unruly was given the googly eyes at Haley Atwell earlier. I have been a fan of that actress for a very long time. So yeah. What was it? What's the one? Days in the Valley? Is that it? Like where the first one when she was super young. Gosh, I was like in college. I think that's right. And I think that's the first one I remember from. Obviously, like there's other stuff too, but she's not necessarily that much. She's younger than you think. And she's also fairly similar age to him. So, but yeah, she is a little older than I would have guessed for Clea. You are correct. But she's similar age to him. So it's not, yeah, it's 2 Days in the Valley. That was my first exposure to her. And I've been a fan ever since. So there you go. Oh, no. Yeah, that's where you go from. Yeah, for sure. So anyway, that is this week's list. That is the books. We had a little dumpster fire. You guys got a rant. I do not understand that Spider-Verse number 6. I just don't. The puppy dog has laid here the whole time. He looked at me for a little bit, but then he went back to sleep. So yay! You expose yourself. I sort of wish. I don't. That's wrong. That's not what I'm saying. No, seeing her in the movie was the first movie I remember seeing her in. I've been a big fan, ever since. Unreally's all about the Captain Carter. I don't blame him. He's a good doggy. Yes, he is. Good boy. You're a good boy. He's even ignoring the good boys at the moment. So there you go. All right, I'm gonna get out of here before I get myself in any more trouble. And hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday. I will be back tonight for D&D, and then I will be back tomorrow night for a delayed Monday night whatever report, because like I said, I was with family last night. So I believe that is correct. Yes, I can't remember the name of that though. She's been in a bunch of stuff. Thank you, Playing Arizona. Later. And yeah, later, all of you. And we will catch you next time. Maybe if I can find the thing. There it is.